Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. There's 43 people already on here. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Julie Wheeler, and I have been with Juice Plus for just about 5.5 years now. And I have to be honest, it is one of the greatest decisions I ever made. I have never regretted the decision. And bringing in people like Dr. Kim, who's about to speak, has been one of the greatest blessings that this whole opportunity has given me. And so I promised Kim I would only say one thing about her and that I would keep it nice and short. But you guys will soon realize that when it comes to intelligence, knowledge, Kim is just a cut above the rest. And the only thing that rivals that is her heart. So I'm super excited to share her with all of you guys because it was just divine that she got brought into my life. And I'm so grateful that she gets to come here and kind of offer these tools and these resources to our team kind of as we go through this massive change. And I think it will empower each and every one of you guys to really see the importance of what we do. And she said to me the other day, and this will stick with me forever, she said, "You will never hurt anybody by recommending fruits and vegetables in a capsule." And that just landed on my heart so much that I'm just so excited to share her with you all. So without further ado, I would love to welcome my friend and just a beautiful soul in our Juice Plus community, Dr. Kim Dalzell.
Oh, thank you, Julie. And thank you everyone for being here this evening. I have a ton to share. I'm going to do a brief introduction of myself, and then I'll kind of tell you what's going to happen tonight. So get ready. I am a registered dietitian. I have a PhD in holistic nutrition, which means I literally understand both sides of the coin. And that's really helpful, especially in the cancer community. But I think just in general, that there's a place right down the middle. And you're going to learn why that's so important in a while. But I'm an author, a professional speaker. I've worked in the field of oncology for over 30 years. I'm a presidential marketing director with the Juice Plus company. And most recently, as Julie alluded to, I'm the founder of Cancer Nutrition IQ. And this is a 2-year project built with Juice Plus partners in mind. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that later on. But for right now, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to offer you 2 profound nutrition concepts that really drill down the importance of whole food nutrition to health. And then I'm going to talk about the controversial subjects of soy, using antioxidants during cancer treatment, and the new flavor of the month, collagen. And then I'm going to introduce you to Cancer Nutrition IQ as one of your go-to resources for nutrition advice and guidance. So many of you have come to me because you know about somebody who has cancer, or somebody had cancer and they're not quite sure what to do. They're afraid of cancer coming back. Sometimes you even reached out to me because it was you. So tonight, this is really all about helping anybody who is cancer concerned. And then if there's time, I'll be happy to take some questions as well. So let's dig right in. My goal is to help you really gain confidence in talking to others about why whole food nutrition makes so much sense. And over the years, in all of my practice, I've really found that there are some common truths. And here's the biggest one. Simple equals profound. The most simple things will give you the most profound results. So let's talk about one of those really simple things. It's really the concept of synergy. So this is all about ramping up the potential health value of your foods by either combining certain foods together or preparing them in a certain way so that you can amp up their healing value. So I'll give you an example. You take that big green leafy salad, and if you add avocado, that's going to provide the omega-3 fatty acids, all right? These really healthy fats. But they do something amazing. As soon as you're taking in the fat with this healthy fat with all of those greens, you're going to be absorbing 8 times more alpha carotene, 13 times more beta carotene, and 4 times more lutein. These are all plant chemicals that are great for the eyes, they're great for the skin, for the immune system. So the reality is that when you combine certain things, you're going to do better than if you just have them separately. Now, I used to work for a very large national cancer treatment facility, and their focus was giving their patients large dose isolated vitamins. And as the dietitian, that's what I did too, until I learned about how much more impactful it can be for health if you actually combine and use whole foods instead of isolated ingredients of foods. In fact, I was so convinced that I actually left my job, because when I told them that I had found something that was going to be far more impactful than isolated nutrients, they said, well, yeah, Kim, but we sell vitamins. And I said, well, you may sell them, but I don't anymore. And I left. And I love that Juice Plus combines over 30 plants. So we've got all of these plants coming in to support our lungs and our blood vessels, our immune system, our gums, our skin, so much more. And I really like that there's variety too. You know, many of the plants that are in Juice Plus are really classified as superfoods. And one of the Juice Plus studies comes to mind here. You know, researchers who tested blood levels of healthy individuals after they took Juice Plus suggested that Juice Plus actually encouraged the body to produce other beneficial plant chemicals. So this is that additive effect that I'm talking about. Oh, and one more thing. I specifically also like that Juice Plus does not contain herbs like aloe vera or licorice. There are contraindications to those herbs in certain gut disorders, if you have hypertension or if you have an electrolyte imbalance. Juice Plus is safe and it's effective. The reality is that profound health benefits don't require adding everything but the kitchen sink. And the second thing I want to talk about is really the Goldilocks factor. This is what I call it. You know, what is just right? Well, when it comes to plants, what is just right is that more really does matter. We have a public health initiative that encourages a consistent intake of 9 to 13 servings of plants every day in a wide variety and a rainbow colors. There was a study published in the journal called Nutrition Cancer. And they actually looked at subjects who consumed 8 servings, okay, 8 servings of fruits and vegetables versus those that actually ate only 2 servings. By the way, the national average here in the United States is 2.3 servings of fruits and vegetables consumed per day by adults. Far less, but we're talking about 8 in this study, all right? What the researchers found is that those who consumed 8 servings a day, they actually increased their blood antioxidant carotenoid levels. So this is a good thing. They're increasing the antioxidant levels in their blood. But even with 8 servings, there was no cellular protection from DNA damage at 8 servings a day. More was needed. So, by the way, a serving is 1 cup of raw leafy vegetables or a half cup cooked. Or if you're doing fruits, it's half a cup of chopped or a cooked fruit, or just like a medium apple or something. So as a registered dietitian, I have found that it's virtually impossible to meet this requirement. I love that Juice Plus offers convenient capsules and chewables, and other companies, you know, there's a lot of companies out there that have these green powders. Have you tasted them? Yuck. Okay, if you don't like the way something tastes, how often are you going to eat it? And we're right back to where we started with not getting enough fruits and vegetables. So having something that is easy to take, that is actually going to combine all these plants, brilliant, right? What Juice Plus does in the body is truly profound, and it's proven. And you know, what I almost want to have a JPTV little series. I want it to be called "What You Don't See Is What You Get." We all know what you see is what you get, but really it's what you don't see is what you get. So let's just take an ordinary an apple, all right? This ordinary apple, you're eating it, you're tasting it, but you're not going to feel when the hormone gastrin releases, when stomach acid decreases, when it decreases the pH, when harmful bacteria die, when stomach muscles contract, when the pancreas releases enzymes for digestion, when the gallbladder empties, when one of the valves in the GI tract relaxes. All of this is happening when you're eating an apple, when you're drinking coffee. Everything you're doing, everything you're putting into your mouth, all of these things are happening, and you can't feel a thing. Everything you eat and drink significantly impacts the function of your body. You know, we marvel when we feel great or hardly sick, but we aren't really aware that we're calling upon our organs to work at levels far above their normal operating capacity, especially when we are exposed to refined sugars, the wrong kind of fats, environmental toxins. Let's not even talk about the quality of our produce these days. So by the time we're aware of a health problem, it's usually a major one. I tell my customers and clients, eating Juice Plus helps your body do what it needs to do daily. So there's less wear and tear. It actually improves your chances to live stronger. You're not going to feel it. You're not going to see what's going on inside. But our research gives us a window into what happens when we consume Juice Plus. Now, in terms of this Goldilocks factor, when is too much not so good? Well, when something is unnaturally isolated and not in a whole food form, this causes imbalance. There are a handful of studies to show that large amounts of individual antioxidants can actually promote cancer growth and interfere with chemotherapy and radiation. It's true. Safety is in whole foods. There's a journal, actually, this is a study done in 2005, but it was profound because it was done in kids with leukemia. And the journal, it was published in Pediatric Blood Cancer. That was the name of the journal. The antioxidant levels in these children, as they continued their treatment, kept dropping, causing more complications. And the kids that had higher levels of a variety of antioxidants in their blood had less delay of treatment, fewer infections, and reduced toxicity. So the researchers concluded that taking in dietary antioxidants could actually help cancer patients through treatment. Now, I say it this way: cancer treatment is like a tsunami, and whole food nutrition is the palm tree you get to hold on to during the storm. This idea of balanced nutrition is going to lead me right into the subject of soy. Now, there is a blog on Cancer Nutrition IQ that's dedicated to hormone balancing. So I talk a lot more in depth there, but for right now, understand that soy contains estrogen, plant estrogens. By the way, 400 plants contain estrogen. Carrots are one of them. But soy contains a lot of these plant estrogens. And the word estrogen starts to scare people because it's like, well, we know, for example, that if you have breast cancer that is estrogen receptor positive, the last thing you want to do is put more estrogen into the body. You see, there are receptor sites on these breast cancer cells. And when soy latches on to that breast cancer cell, something could happen. In fact, we have research to show, wow, you know what? We're looking at this and we see detrimental effects. But then there's a whole nother side of camp, a whole nother body of research saying, we're not seeing that. We see that soy is actually beneficial for people with breast cancer that's hormone positive. How can this possibly be? How can it be so separated? Well, the reason why is because when you take a whole food soy form, in population studies, People who eat soy, edamame, tofu, soy milk, when they have those whole food soy, another one would be tofu powder, right? Any of that is actually acting as a weak estrogen, and it's going to block the receptor site. I'll explain that in a way that anyone can understand, really. But when they started looking at where soy was detrimental for people, they realized that the soy acted more like a pure estrogen when it was isolated and really concentrated high levels of two plant chemicals, genistein and diazine being the two. So when you have high levels of concentrated, isolated parts of soy, you're going to get that soy to act more like the big bad estradiol, the big bad estrogen, right? Okay, fancy words. Let's just say that you want to open up your front door and it's dark outside and you're fumbling with all of your keys. And you take that key that you think is the right key and you put it in the door and it fits, but you can't turn it. You cannot turn the key. It does not activate the lock. This is how soy works on breast cancer cells. It blocks the entrance, but it doesn't activate anything inside the cell. That's why whole food soy is so safe and why isolated soy is not. Thank goodness we have water washed tofu as the base for the Juice Plus Complete Shake. It's the source of the soy that matters, and that's why Complete is completely safe to take in. These isolated supplements, diazine and genistein, pills and powders that are just these concentrated sources, they are shown to alter gene expression and promote cancer growth. So in summary, whole food soy is good. It blocks the lock. That's what you want to remember. So now let's talk about collagen. This is all the rage. I've seen this with so many products that hit the market only to find years later that there are problems. I remember when PC Spez came out, this was an herbal blend for prostate cancer, and it turned out it had been tainted with medication. So they had to, of course, yank it off the shelf. Ephedra, this is a Chinese herb that was used for weight loss. Again, yanked off the shelf because of problems. Collagen wasn't even on my radar, but it was a breast cancer patient who said, I'm thinking about also adding collagen into my supplement regimen. Do you think that's a good idea? And I thought, I don't really know the answer to that. Let me find out. And I thought, well, we have natural storage of collagen already. And we know that it's tainted for anti-aging. It's great for the skin and the hair and the nails and the joints. And right, if we have storage of collagen, why wouldn't it be safe? But as I began to look at the research, I really became very concerned. I don't want to share that with you tonight. There was a project put out by the Organic Consumers Association and Clean Label Act, 28 brands of collagen, all types. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, collagen's not good because it's animal-based. Take that completely off the table. That's not even what this is about. You're right, there are not plant sources of collagen, but the fact that collagen is derived from animals is not even where I'm going tonight. What I want to tell you is that this label project found in these 28 brands, 64% of them had higher levels of arsenic, 37% higher levels of lead, 34% contained mercury, 17% contained cadmium. Arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, these are heavy metals, and small amount of heavy metals are not a problem. But over time, they build up toxicity in the liver and the kidneys. And collagen is used over time. So you need to be really careful about what brand you're choosing. Now, in chronic inflammatory diseases, what will happen is that cells will release sugar, and sugar actually combines with collagen and forms rigid strings of tissue. That can really be a problem for people who have connective tissue disorders like lupus. So that would be that would be one subpopulation that would be contraindicated in this, in not wanting to take collagen. There's an amino acid in collagen as well. It's called glycine, and glycine has actually been shown in a number of laboratory studies to stimulate growth hormones involved in tumor progression. So what happens is tumors are filled with these particular cells called fibroblasts, and the tumors produce these, the fibroblasts actually produce the collagen, and the collagen starts wrapping around the tumors, kind of like a winter coat, potentially protecting it from immune cell. You know how immune cells will search, target, and destroy. Well, if something's in a big winter coat, are you going to find it? Maybe not, right? It may be preventing chemotherapy from entering the system. We have some serious concerns with certain cancer types, including breast cancer, but others as well, to show that when you have that in these situations, there are large amounts of collagen that build around the tumors. It's not a good thing. So if extra collagen is in the body, is that extra collagen going and actually feeding that whole process? We don't know, but we do know that something is driving the collagen to continue to hang out in that cancer area. So collagen, here's your take home, collagen, any source, regardless of brand, may cause some serious issues. What's incredible to know, though, is that if you want to preserve your skin, your nails, your hair, omega blend fatty acids, fruits and vegetables, green tea found in our berry blend have been known to preserve collagen stores. So once again, Juice Plus delivers. Fruits and veggies are never going to go out of style. I've decided, here's my new tagline: fruits and vegetables are classic, just like a little black dress. They go with everything. All right, I want to talk just a minute about Cancer Nutrition IQ. I'm so proud of this project. So I think those individuals who come to me with a cancer concern, you know, they're so frustrated, they're confused about what to eat. And for those of you who are helping people who have cancer, don't you just feel like, oh, I really want them to get this. I want them to understand why this could really make such a difference for them. And yet there's such a huge gap. 1 in 2,300 outpatient cancer patients actually see a dietitian. There's a lot of people that have no idea that nutrition can make a difference. And that's where we come in, isn't it? So there's really value in knowing that what you're doing is really helping, don't you think? And that is precisely why I designed, along with other registered dietitians and nutritionists, a way to actually measure how well you're eating when it comes to preventing or fighting cancer. And I want to share Cancer Nutrition IQ with you. There's actually 2 ways that I can share. The first way is with a fun 2-minute quiz. You can find out how your diet stacks up against cancer. That's your Cancer Nutrition IQ. You're going to get a free nutrition action checklist. It includes references to the Tower Garden, Shake Mix, Juice Plus capsules. You can send all your prospects, all your customers there to take that fun little quiz to see where they're at and to get real world advice about how they can actually improve their cancer fighting potential. The second way that we can help is to answer more questions, even specific to you, and you'll get a personalized plan. So it took us 2 years to put this together, and 2 years for me to actually figure out an algorithm that was going to work. But answer a series of questions. You're going to get an on-demand library specific to your needs based on your personalized information for only $14.95, and that is a one-time fee. You get an extensive library of foods. You're going to know how much to eat, the best way to combine foods and prepare foods. There's a prioritized food chart for those of you who like to see it all in one place. And all the concepts that I've talked about here and so much more are weaved into the information. And you're also going to get bonus reports on why plants are so good. And yes, a lot more information on collagen. So as I said, this site was designed to support the Juice Plus field. I'm so proud of it. And honestly, I've really just added in all the questions that I've received from all of you over the many years. Everything is in there. And I want you to hear this, really important, really important. Any reference to my in my newsletters, in my blogs, on the website, any documents I share with anybody, all of that, any reference to any Juice Plus products are redirected to a special landing page where it clearly says, go back to the person who invited you here to purchase from them. We've also added a gift card option. So this is a great way to love on your customers, on your prospects, and really begin to help them see an even bigger value in Juice Plus. So many of you wonderful partners struggle sometimes with what to say, and you want to say the right thing. You want to do the right thing. You want to give the right information, and it gets a little dicey when talking to somebody who has like a serious disease like cancer. So Cancer Nutrition IQ was born to help everyone get a little smarter, to lead a more beautiful life by integrating whole food nutrition concepts into their life. And we absolutely wanted to make it as affordable as possible, because too often I hear, this treatment took all my bank. We have to sell our house. I actually had somebody say to me, we've decided to go all natural therapy, and that's going to cost a lot more money. We might have to put our house up for sale. Well, no, it needs to stop here. There is information that's available for everybody. Right information, scientific information, helpful information, and now low cost information that's going to make a difference. I want to close just by sharing our vision at Cancer Nutrition IQ. We have a goal of helping 1 million people with this information, and I'm inviting you to be part of this mission. Join our Facebook page, Cancer Nutrition IQ, and consider ordering the plan for yourself. At least find out where you are in terms of your Cancer Nutrition IQ. And Julie, if you wouldn't mind typing in the website on the chat box, www.cancernutritioniq.com. That way people can learn more. And whew, I'm done. And now I would love to take any questions.
Okay, I just put it in there, Kim. Anybody who has any questions, feel free to raise your hand, or if you're brave enough, just come and unmute yourself. Kim, I don't know if you can see the comments, but it is just blowing up with huge thank yous. Like I said, I knew that this would just be, again, next to your intellect, your heart is just, you blow me away. You just blow me away. So does anybody have any questions for Kim?
How about, how do you look so young, Kim?
Well, and I just want to say thank you too, because I think I shared this with a few people, but what most people don't know is that you actually kind of squeezed us in because you're about to leave for Iceland. So a huge thank you for taking the time to come and be a part of our team, this team call so much. I do have one question for you. I know that I've been asked this one before, but when it comes to, you know, quoting research and things like that, how do you find is the easiest way for you to, and I've been on Cancer Nutrition IQ, I'm quite familiar with it. What's the best way for us to encourage new prospects or new customers to kind of take a deeper look? Like, is there something that you kind of verbiage you share or anything like that that we may be able to use?
You know, it really is less, Julie, about how, you know, really what you say and more like really how you say it. And I think it comes back to just literally, look, people who have had cancer or people who have had been impacted by somebody, honestly, there's just so much misinformation out there. And it can really be hurtful. It can be detrimental. And I think that literally just even saying something like, I have a resource for you. There's a way you can get free information. And if you want to dig deeper and really get secure and confident in what you're eating, you can go there too. All I know is I care enough about you to let you know yet another resource and tool to help you with your health.
I love that.
Julie,
we
I
have
do you see some questions?
I just see some people unmuted, so I'm going to let them come on.
Oh, I only unmuted to bring up the questions in the chat bar. So there was a couple, and then I had a question as well. So are you suggesting one of the questions was that we throw out our collagen even if it is clean?
I think that here's what I would say. You know, collagen is fairly new on the market. There's just an influx like there's never been. And as I was saying, sometimes, you know, all you have to do is realize that there's a number of populations already where collagen is not going to be the best answer. How many more populations will be discovered years down the road? I think the ultimate question you need to ask yourself is this: why am I doing this? Is there something else I can do instead that is going to be the most helpful with the least amount of side effects? It's that risk versus benefit. And I see more whole foods, green tea, and there's a lot of different things you can do for joints that have been proven and that aren't going to be as iffy. So it's a personal choice for sure. I'm going to go for the tried and proven. I kind of like that.
That's interesting. Thank you. And it brings up, I remember a girlfriend of mine 2 years ago, she got knocked over by a wave in Hawaii and was having such bad pain with her spine and vertebrae, and her doctor had suggested collagen because she was in her 40s and starting to age. And so she started doing that and bone broth and all the things. And I did share Juice Plus with her, and that was probably one thing that really helped promote the healing process.
Yeah.
So that's cool. The other question in the chat bar was, what ingredients do you avoid when looking at collagen if people are wanting to try it?
You know, that's why I wrote a report. Honestly, there's just a lot. There really is a lot. With marine collagens, you run the risk of mercury. With other collagens, again, it's heavy metals. So there's just, you know, I think I really, if there's just any underlying message, this is the one I want to share. When you decide to put something in your body, ask yourself, could there be some things that could potentially harm me? Is there something I can do instead that I know won't and will still fit the bill? Choose wisely.
Awesome. Thank you for addressing those. I think those were the only questions in the chat bar.
You bet.
I
Thanks,
think that
Amanda.
should be on a billboard across the planet.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, like what you put in your body, and there are other things that fit the bill. I mean, look at what we're going through. It's like that should be across the board, like, yeah, in this whole world.
Well, remember, fruits and vegetables are that black dress. Classic, never goes out of style, and you can pair it with anything.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions. So Kim, I will honor your time and we won't keep you any longer, but thank you again so much for sharing your time, your knowledge, and your resources with us. We appreciate it so very much.